live in 4 minutes and 8 seconds. It says.
Really, it's gonna take that long to jump on?
That's what it says. Why is it doing a countdown?
It's weird, right? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I believe we're live. Maybe.
Yep. We are. It
Okay.
just it just flipped live on the screen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Steelers Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, David Barrow from SteelersSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Korup. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
Steelers making some news this week. Cut 3 players: Mitch Trubisky, Chuks Okorafor, and Presley Harvin. Let's do one at a time. First, Mitch Trubisky. People say not a big surprise. I was a little surprised. I thought they might hang on to him at least until they had some confirmation they were getting Mason back or somebody else, Tannehill, whoever's going to be the backup this year.
Well, I thought the original report was they were keeping him. Because that was the original report that came out, was that they were planning on keeping him. I was mad about it. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what? But it's I didn't know whether it's because he's familiar with the system and they don't want to go through all that or what it was. But dude, Omar Khan did not fuck around. Like, Super Bowl
He
ended
did
and
not.
he was like, see ya. Like. But I was glad that they did it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely glad they're going to try to upgrade the backup quarterback spot and not just stick with Trubisky and Kenny Pickett for next year, which was worst case scenario, right? Fuck that.
Well, I'm excited in general because now, like, we know they have to go do something. Like, you've literally got one quarterback on your roster. So now, like, I feel like we know for a fact they're going to go out and get somebody, whether it be free agency or the draft, no matter what, they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, if they'd have kept Trubisky, I'd have been like, okay, I wonder if they just, they draft one or if they just bring in, a nobody from wherever to be the free agent ad, or same thing with the draft. Do they wait till like the seventh round and draft him, Ola Dukin or whatever that kid's name was? It's like, but with this, it makes me feel like they're actually going to make a decent ad at the quarterback position.
Cutting Trubisky almost guarantees that they draft somebody, right, for third string. Well, I guess they could
Right.
sign an undrafted free agent, but they're
Well,
obviously gonna sign a veteran backup. But then who's gonna be the third
some,
quarterback?
right. Like,
So
this
they're
this
probably
leaves
gonna draft somebody.
a lot of different options are on the table now, Dave, to me,
Yep.
at least.
Yep. What do you make? This Justin Field stuff is hot on
It
X, Twitter, whatever you
is.
want to call it again. He was
I
made favorite by some betting site, which I don't know what these betting sites get their information from somewhere because they don't set odds to lose money. You know what I'm saying?
I can even tell you the site because my son sent it to me.
So
It was this is AFPC football, whatever site that is. But yeah, they're putting it out there, man.
it was a site from Vegas, I think, or something. But I don't know. This got legs. I don't know if it's just because it's a slow time of year and people just throwing shit against the wall or what. I
Minus
tweeted
one
the
twenty five.
yeah,
Minus one
yeah,
twenty five to get him. The Bears plus 200, I guess, to keep him is
yep,
next.
yep.
And then plus 600 is the Falcons. So it's a
Substantial,
substantial
yeah.
amount. The Steelers are the number one compared to the other teams.
I tweeted out the other day. I take him over Kenny Pickett next season all day, every day. I mean, he's not my favorite choice as starter next year, but I don't know. Just give me something. Give me some excitement. Give me anything.
I and I so I get the whole money and stuff like that. I do think that he's an upgrade over Kenny. I think he's got the bigger arm, the legs.
Yep.
Um, but my problem is this, that he's a turnover machine.
Yeah, that is a
Uh,
concern for sure.
30, 38 fumbles, I believe, in his career
Yep.
already.
Yep.
Uh, he
Fumbles the
had
ball a
nine
shitload.
nine interceptions last season here with 16 touchdowns at least. At least he had more touchdowns than he did interceptions. So I mean, there's a lot of bad, but there's also potential for a lot of good. So,
Yeah.
um, I personally believe he's an upgrade, but I don't want to give up a lot for him.
No, I'd
That's
cut it off at a second round pick. Anything more than that, and just tell him to go pound sand,
yeah.
find somebody else. I wouldn't. I would do a second, but
Would you?
I think I'd draw the line there. Um, the knock on him is he doesn't process very well. He holds the ball too long. But in this Arthur Smith offense, maybe it's a little easier. It's more play action. There should be more open receivers. I mean, the thought of him, Jalen and Najee all running threats in the offense and do some play action and rollouts and stuff like that sounds interesting to me. Anyway,
Yeah. And Tomlin loves
I'll
him
have to wait and
apparently.
see. Yeah, that's what's going around that clip of him at the Georgia Pro Day, I guess, Ohio State Pro Day when he was like
Yeah.
all up in just in field stuff. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. The Chooks Okorafor getting cut was really surprising to me. I find it hard to believe, Dave, they couldn't get some kind of draft pick for a starting caliber right tackle who's making 14 million is kind of cheap for a tackle nowadays. I mean, that's not a lot of money. Somebody doesn't need a right tackle. Nobody in the league, a veteran.
I told you. I told you they're going to cut him. I told you. My man
Strange.
gave up out loud in front of Mike Tomlin.
That's fine.
God. Like, I knew it.
It's not personal, Dave. It's business.
Oh, yeah.
don't
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved for them to trade him to try to find a trading partner. Absolutely. But I think Tomlin was so disgusted with him that they knew day one after Super Bowl, my dude was gone. They were just done with him. And
yeah, he never saw the field again for sure.
No.
So
dude,
not even a sniff.
You cannot out loud say, "Let's give up" in front of Mike Tomlin. You're crazy. Yeah. Like so, I'm not surprised by it. Like I said it a while back. That dude's cut as soon as he can be cut.
Yeah, well, part of me thought, well, maybe will they mend fences, and because we joked about it last week, the Steelers are looking for a veteran right tackle, cheap and blah blah blah, and that's Chooks Okorafor in a nutshell. But yeah, I wish they would have got, I don't know, 5th round pick, 6th round pick, just have something for him. Now you get nothing.
Yeah.
And if you trade him, I believe there's no dead money with that. With a cut, you lose that dead money, so that counts against the cap.
Right.
I don't know. And the third and final one, Presley Harvin. My only question, Dave, is why did it take so freaking long to cut this man?
Yep.
This is ridiculous. It took this long.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been cut a long time ago. It was obvious he just doesn't have it. That's my biggest problem with the Steelers is that they
wait too long.
They hold on to these guys for so long. Yep. And it's just like, my guy, how many games now are we in? The guy don't got it. He's too inconsistent. He's just not good enough. He shouldn't have went into that Buffalo game, dude. He should have went into that Buffalo game. I mean, he should have went into any games this season, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, like in general, like there's so many times where you're just like, you added Brad Wing. What are you doing? Like, use him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they were just trying to send a message to him, but it didn't work.
That is vintage Tomlin. How many times does he do that with his punter or like his kicker too? He did that shit with Boss. Like it's just I don't know.
It's weird. Salary cap wise, this saved them some money, but they're still not under. Believe it or not, they're still over the cap by I think it was $3 or $4 million. They still got a lot of work to do. Why isn't Allen Robinson in this round of cuts, man? He's by far the guy that could save them the most money and the most useless of all these guys.
Give it time. Like there's no. I mean, I'll be shocked, dude. There's no way.
Bring this man back, Dave. I'm going to lose my shit.
The only way I see it is to be, some kind of mentor to Pickens or something. And you tell me if they keep him. The reasoning behind it better be a good one because it doesn't make sense to me either.
This makes me think like they're trying to renegotiate his deal and extend him or something to lower his cap hit. Which, cut him.
But they have time. They got the rest of February.
Yeah, so I mean, there is no rush on it. But I mean, if you're going to announce 3, why not just do 4? I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that was kind of crazy for them to do that. Anyways, that really isn't their type of thing,
I don't know what's going on. I mean,
it's an Omar Khan.
The day after the Super Bowl, right?
This is Omar Khan, baby.
Yeah, it's a new era for sure.
This is his first season after they just lost. Yeah. It's not lost, just the season ended officially. My dude don't play games. He was just like, He was like, "You're cool. Fuck you. You're cool."
I don't get me wrong, I like it. Just
Yeah.
keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. Um, all right, that takes care of the cuts for yesterday. It was pretty surprising to all of us to see it so early in the off season. I want to hit on Kevin Colbert a little bit. Kevin Colbert is taking some shots on Twitter and on the internet this week, and it's driving me crazy.
I know.
He's one of the best general managers this team's ever had, and probably one of the best in the league. The list of Hall of Famers that man drafted. Yes, the last couple of years were kind of bad, but Mike Tomlin's to blame for these last couple of years as much as anyone, including Colbert. Don't give me this. It's all Kevin Colbert's bad drafts. You can't tell me that he drafted Kenny Pickett without Mike Tomlin's okay. Mike Tomlin wanted Kenny Pickett as much as anybody in that room. They all thought Kendrick Green was the second coming of Marquise Pouncey. Mike Tomlin's the one that told us he was a plug-and-play center, and he wasn't. Not even close.
That is a comment for the ages. But anyways, go ahead.
I'm not buying this blame it all on Kevin Colbert. I mean, he drafted fucking George Pickens in the second round.
Yeah.
Last year. He's drafted Highsmith in the third in the last couple of years. He's drafted Freiermuth, and I've even come around on the Najee Harris pick, even though I still wish they didn't take a running back in the first round, but he's proven to be a good player. I don't know what your thoughts on it, but I'm not buying this. It's his fault. This team's,
Well, I just think there's joint blame and joint good moves they made too. I mean, you've seen how now it's changed. Where now Tomlin's going to all these different things with Colbert, further showing how involved he really is. If this was like back when Tomlin was younger, way younger, and he wasn't running around going to Alabama, going to all these different pro days, going to all these different things, then you could blame it more solely on Kevin Colbert. But now, the last couple of years of Kevin Colbert's era, dude, Tomlin was going to all that shit with him. It was almost like he was the assistant GM or some shit by how much he was at this stuff with Colbert. So I'm pretty sure that he should share some of the blame and also share some of the when they got it right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Because that's my thing. I'm not going to blame Colbert for everything, but I'm not going to blame Tomlin for everything either. They share the blame and the good picks they made, the last, 4 years of Colbert's tenure? Because or maybe 5 years, of Colbert's tenure, they had some doozies, like the Artie Burns and stuff like that. Yeah. That's Devin Bush, just absolutely horrendous. Kendrick Green, but
Devin Bush one's a killer.
But I just don't blame Colbert. I also blame Tom. That's the way I look at it. If I didn't see Tomlin at all these different things with Colbert doing the same shit that Colbert's doing, then I wouldn't blame Tomlin. But Tomlin has his hands heavily involved in these picks.
What have I said since the day we started this podcast, dude? This is Tomlin's team. He runs it. Yeah. These guys, they have titles, GM, Mike Tomlin runs the show. If he doesn't like it, it doesn't happen. If he doesn't like a player, they don't pick him. He doesn't like a coach, they don't coach him. It's Mike Tomlin has too much clout in the league to be taking orders from anybody short of out Rooney. Everybody else, he's the guy. So you're right. He shares in the successes and the blames. Some of the things that make you concerned is a guy like Kevin Dotson, who they drafted, couldn't get to work, and then he goes to another team and has a Pro Bowl season.
And that's more Tom, because that ends up being
that's coaching. What I'm saying. Yep.
That's a coaching issue. So,
and by the same token, Dave, I'm not going to blame Omar for the Patrick Peterson signing, because that to me is a Tomlin thing. Tomlin loves Patrick Peterson. He wanted Patrick Peterson. He probably pounded the table for Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
So when you're going around assessing blame for this team, start at the head coach and then work your way down, because he's the most powerful man in the organization. Period. All right, that's my Kevin Colbert rant for today. What else do we got? Schefter was another one that, before we move on, fanned those Justin Fields flames, because he went on, I think, what was it? One of those talk shows and said
He
he
went on
mentioned
the Pat McAfee show,
Pat
I
McAfee
believe,
show. Yeah,
and he spread those little seeds for whatever reason that Mike Tomlin loves him and all that other shit. Like I'm just like, oh geez, here we go. So yeah, but Rooney. Here's my problem though, dude. Rooney's already come out and said they're not going to make any big trade. He's already said I don't see us making a big trade.
is a second
Now,
round pick a big trade, blockbuster trade?
uh,
Not
maybe
really.
they. I
Not
mean,
really.
but here's my point. You went and got a guy that's legit
Yeah, that's the problem.
usurps
Yeah,
Kenny's spot. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
Like,
you have to trade Kenny Pickett if you trade for Justin Fields. You
oh
can't have them both on the team.
Jesus, are you kidding me? The Pickett cuddlers would lose their mind.
You can't have them both on the
There's
team. I mean, Fields is a starter. Fields is not a
yeah,
backup to anybody.
yeah, but
And Kenny thinks he's a starter, and with good reason too.
if you
So you
trade
can't
him,
have those two guys can't coexist on the same team.
yeah, that'd be. I don't know. That'd be rough, but that is a big deal. You are essentially.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
care.
right.
I don't
You're
care
right.
if it's a fucking seventh rounder. Either way, you're getting a guy to take Kenny's spot as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a big deal. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
so
I guess it's a blockbuster. I guess you can. I was thinking of it in terms
Rooney.
of compensation, but you're
Yeah, I
probably
mean, if
right.
I understand your point. My point is just the fact of what's actually happening.
Yeah,
What's actually
the
happening is huge.
the fallout of
So,
that makes it a blockbuster.
yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah, the
right.
fall. There you go.
I hadn't
So
even thought of it in those terms.
I
Yeah,
just think that I mean Rooney already said he doesn't envision them doing it.
yeah. I
So
don't know.
I'm just that's why I really just didn't give it any thought. But then like all this
Coming
fucking
up.
talk
Keeps
that
coming up.
you're just like, man. So I like I said, I took a guess at what could do it, and I said a second and a fourth on Twitter, and people lost their fucking minds. But
I
I
don't
don't
think you're
know.
far
I don't
off
know
from
what to
that.
take.
That sounds about right. A
I
second.
don't think
I
so
was thinking
either.
just a second, but maybe a second and a fourth or a second and a fifth.
Well, I
Um,
wanted to utilize the Steelers have two picks
yeah,
back to back in the fourth
yeah.
round.
I'm sure
So
they
like
like to keep it because they don't have a third or they don't have a fifth. They don't have a
I
fifth.
wonder. Yeah, I try to figure out what they would do in that compens. Like if they get Justin Fields, would they get that fifth back in that trade?
You could do something like that. Yeah, you could definitely
Yeah.
do something like that.
So
Yeah.
then I started, dude. I went down a rabbit hole. I started looking at compensatory picks. Can they get one and all this other stuff? Like, but I just if they're saying a second is what it's going to take, then some more, or some say first rounder, which I say no, do
The
not.
Bears want a first rounder, but I don't think they're going to
Yeah,
get it.
and
Honestly,
they ain't
don't.
happen. They ain't happen.
Because
It's
you look
not.
at the teams that need a quarterback, like Atlanta, say they've got the seventh overall pick. They're not sending the seventh pick for Fields.
I'll
No chance.
I'll just
No
be
chance.
shocked if they trade with the Steelers ever again. I just I don't know. After the whole Chase Claypool thing,
Yeah. Yeah, there is something to that. There is something to that. I'm sure
yeah.
they're not excited about
So
making another mistake to the Steelers.
I don't know what they're gonna do. But I'm just going off what Rooney said, and he said that he doesn't see them making any big moves. I personally think they're still going to give Kenny his year. They're going to give Kenny one more year.
That's the most likely scenario is Kenny Pickett,
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill is the most likely scenario
Right.
for 2024.
I told you, like I said, we gotta put up the bat signal to Omar Khan, Andy Weidel. Please do something. Please do something that nobody sees coming.
That's our only hope.
But I don't know if we'll see it. But it does encourage me that they got rid of Trubisky. That to me is kind of
That's a big
interesting
step.
because it saved them money, right? It saved them a lot of money doing that. So in theory, now you could maybe try go to get a guy after you get under the cap space, and then your third string guy is a guy that's not going to cost you a lot of money anyway.
No, it's not going to cost us anything.
So that's why I got
guy.
so excited because in theory, the amount of money that's appropriated for every position, your first, second, third string quarterback. Now you're talking about adding a quarterback that's going to cost you a little bit of money to be the backup.
I wonder if Ryan Tannehill would come here cheap because of Arthur Smith, and I don't know what his market value is. I heard like $4 or $5 million a season, which isn't terrible. If they can get him a little cheaper than that too.
This guy's so bad though, dude. Like his last year, he was a shell of himself. I mean, they were putting Levis out there. They even gave Willis a shot out there because of how bad Tannehill was. Like, don't get me wrong,
he was banged up too.
He was, but when he was out there, if he was healthy at all, it wasn't very good.
No,
and it's okay. He's reaching his end of his rope, man. Yep. So, but God, to bring him in here and I don't know.
Well, like I tweeted this out today. It's the backup quarterback debate's pointless if you're going to keep Kenny Pickett because he's going to play. I mean,
Yeah.
he's injury prone, so it might end up being an important position. But I mean, if you're bringing in Rudolph, Tannehill, I mean, I guess they compete with Pickett. But if that's the way they go, I'd bet my life on Kenny starts the season at least, and then two or
Yeah.
three games into the season, if he's not playing well, they moved on to somebody else. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We might as well talk about the defensive player of the year thing. We haven't talked since they announced Myles Garrett won again. Shocked, not shocked. Um,
They're just
I
wow.
don't give much into
Anyways,
this stuff, but I don't know what they hang their hat on to pick Myles Garrett. He was bad the last couple of games of the season. I don't think he had a sack the last three,
one
4 games.
one in last 7 games.
Yeah.
He had one sack in his last 7 games. And here's the other thing too. He got defensive player of the year. This wasn't even a edge rusher award.
Yep.
This
Yep.
was a defensive player of the year award. He wasn't even the best edge rusher. How the hell do you justify? There's just no. There's an agenda. That's all I'm gonna say. There is an agenda, and I don't know what the agenda is.
He's not even a clean he's had incidents. The whole knocking Mason Rudolph over the top of the head with his own helmet. It's not like this guy's a squeaky clean, guy that everybody loves. He's kind of a
look.
on top of everything else.
I told you there is a Cleveland Browns agenda. I know this is very conspiracy theory of me, but I feel like there's like this weird Browns agenda. I mean, the NFL has been pushing Myles Garrett the whole season. Who did they advertise all season? DraftKings have been blowing up Myles Garrett. They hired that one girl to be like one of their little spokespersons or whatever. Guess what she is? A Cleveland Browns fan. There's this weird thing with the mainstream media, all these different, companies, gambling companies, stuff, and the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco got comeback player of the year over a guy that almost died and came back and played the next season. Like, just think about that. They gave it to Alex Smith over Ben when Ben came back.
Yep.
Why? Because Alex Smith almost freaking died from that leg injury or whatever, right? It got infected and fucked them all up.
Yep.
Now, why did Hamlin not get the same treatment? But my man literally had to get resuscitated and brought back to life.
Yeah,
it's unreal to me.
Did Stefanski win Coach of the Year too? Did he?
Yes, that's my point.
It's starting to get into me now.
Do you understand my reasoning now? Does it make sense?
It's crazy.
Like, and here's the sad part. That was the only one where I thought it was deserved. Was Stefanski?
Yeah, he had a good season. Stefanski had a good season.
I thought
you could have picked a lot of guys,
but Joe Flacco came in the middle of the season. He didn't even start the season.
That's true.
And then the stuff about Myles Garrett is that's more mind-boggling than anything. I just can't figure. Pass rush, run rate. Okay, fine. So what happens if you get past your guy and did nothing? What does that say?
That's what I mean. Didn't TJ had more pressures than him? Obviously, more sacks.
If you, Dave, you will be so if you go and look at the stats, you won't believe it. The another mind-numbing thing is that Micah Parsons comes out and says that it's true that TJ is not as good as Myles Garrett. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking? It's incredible.
I don't give any credence to that. I don't give any credence to him.
I just don't. There's just this narrative, or it's just the strangest thing. And then
something against the Watts. I think they really do have something against the Watts. I don't know why. Because JJ is like the coolest dude in the league, and I can't see, but they seem to. I don't know what it is. It's bizarre, totally bizarre to me.
I think that there are some Browns fans that became top executives, and I don't know. It did the whole thing shaded me. They pushed Myles Garrett.
PFF started this, right? PFF's the one that started the whole Myles Garrett
pass rush win rate and all this other bullshit.
Listen, my problem with PFF is half of those stats they come up with are subjective. You got some guy in a room watching film, making decisions. Oh, he won that rep. Well, are you sure? I mean, what? It's all preference. So to base everything on those bizarre stats, and I hear it all. I've been hearing a lot lately. Sacks don't matter. Sacks don't. What the hell are you talking about? Sacks are devastating. When you take a sack and lose yardage, and that changes games. It blows my mind. I don't know.
He did not lead TJ Watt in one regular statistical category. Not one. Not one. He tied him in one.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo. Yeah.
And this is voted on by journalists, right? And some fans. It's not like it's just one or two people.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So glad. Do you know that there are some of these voters that left him off their thing altogether, their ballot?
It's unbelievable. I did not
imagine not having him on the ballot at
the
all.
NFL sack
leader. Did you see some of the voters? Tom Brady was one of the voters.
I did not know that. I didn't.
Yeah. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what? Like, dude, I thought you saw, dude, you haven't seen this? Like,
I don't pay much attention to it. It just, I saw the post with the stats that TJ won almost every one. And I'm just like, I get too easily frustrated with this bullshit. So I don't even pay much attention to it. It's so stupid.
I'm trying to find it because these assholes need roasted. I know I have the list. I just got to find where I posted it at. And
I saw some reporters were on it.
Found it. Here you go. Here you go. Ready? Here's the whole list. Okay. Emmanuel Acho from Fox Sports.
I saw that. Yeah, that's the one I saw. Yeah.
Greg Oman, Fox Sports. No idea. Howard Balzer from Phoenix Radio. Jared Bell from USA Today. Dave Burkett from Detroit Free Press. Tom Brady, Fox Sports. My guy hasn't done one fucking game yet and is already listed under Fox Sports and gets a vote.
He's been signed for a year, dude. He collected a paycheck from them. He really didn't do anything last year. It's incredible. Incredible.
Teddy Bruschi. So that's two Patriots in a row, by the way. Two in a row. Vic Carucci, WGRZ Radio. I don't know where that's out of.
I've heard that name. He's an NFL guy.
Okay. Mark Craig, Minneapolis Star Tribune. Tom Curran, NBC Sports Boston.
Yeah,
that's three guys out of Boston right now. Three. Let's see. Charles Davis, CBS. I know Charles did. Nate Davis, USA Today. Howard Deneroff, Westwood One. Tony Dungy, NBC Sports. Jory Epstein, Yahoo Sports. That's a horrible last name. Anyways, Boomer Esiason. So
Boomer.
Cincinnati Bengal. Yeah. Anyways, Doug Farah, USA Today. Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com. We know that. Reuben Frank, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Rich Gannon, SiriusXM. Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports. Lindsey Jones, The Ringer. Mike Jones, The Athletic. Clark Judge, Talk of Fame Network. Ira Kaufman. Mina Kimes. Mina Kimes got a vote.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hers at all. Not a fan of hers at all.
Peter King, which we already knew, he came out right off the bat and said he was picking Myles Garrett.
Yep.
Pat Kerwin, Jeff Legwood, Jim Miller, Sam Munson, the guy from PFF got a vote.
That nobody likes,
which is wow. Anyways, Bruce Murray, Gary Myers, Laura Ockman, no idea. Dan Ovlosky, Nick Palatos, Dan Pompey, Nora Princiati, Lorenzo Reyes, Charles Robinson, Deanna Rossini, Mike Sando. I know Mike Sando, Aaron Schatz, Adam Shine. Oh, yeah, I know him. Tom Silverstein, Chris Sims, Armando Salguero, Mike Tirico, Ben Volen, and Shireen Williams.
Ben Volen's a Boston guy, too.
So 4 Boston.
Well, he covered, I don't know if he's from Boston, but he covered the Patriots. So
that's all I needed to hear, is that he covered the Patriots. Look, you're leaving TJ Watt off your ballot completely.
I'd love to see the people that left him off the ballot.
I want to know who.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
To me, that is the shadiest fucking shit ever. Like, to not even have him on your ballot, you clearly that's didn't want to. You clearly have an issue with TJ Watt. I'm sorry. You clearly have an issue.
it goes to your character. If you vote for Myles Garrett, knowing that he lost every statistical category, I'm sorry, I can't speak today, um, for a defensive player as defensive player of the year to TJ Watt, that goes to that goes to your reputation. That to me, I pay attention to stuff like that.
Right.
When you go out on the line and go for clicks or to follow a narrative or stuff like that, I lose all respect for you. And a lot of those guys, 100%, especially the guys that left them off the ballot, that I would lose complete respect for them. I wouldn't take
Here's
anything they
my
say
thing.
seriously.
Do you really think Tom Brady's paying attention to the top? Like,
No, no,
come on,
no,
seriously?
no.
Like, there's no
I
way.
mean, he's a smart football guy, but he's not watching these games day to day trying to
Right.
figure out who's the defensive player of the year. He's not doing
Yeah.
it.
I don't buy it, man. I just don't buy it. I don't know. To me,
A
it's
lot of
just
those guys
nuts.
just go, "Who are you voting for?" Oh, Garrett. All right, I'll vote for him too. Let's just get this over with. They don't really take it seriously. It's bullshit. What else do we got before we get into our free agent thing? I want to get into Merrill Hodge. My first question is, why isn't Merrill Hodge work for the Steelers? You ever seen this guy's takes? Man, he's spot on. He's really good,
Yeah,
really
he
good.
nails a
He
lot.
didn't,
He
he,
nails it a lot.
he went on that show. There's a clip of it going around the internet where he didn't like, who's the player he didn't like? Johnny Manziel. He was on with Skip Bayless and a couple other knuckleheads. And he's like, I wouldn't take him in the first round. And they were like, oh my God, you can't, I can't believe you're saying that. He's going to be the number one pick overall. I was like, I don't think he's a good starting quarterback. I think he's a knucklehead. I don't think he's going to do good in the NFL. And Skip Bayless is tearing him up from one end to the other. Guess who was right? Merrill
Yeah.
Hodge. Then he said the same thing about Davian Clowney. He said, this guy's a one trick pony. He's not a first round pick. He's an okay pass rusher. He's not a great pass rusher. And everyone's going crazy. What are you talking about? Davian Clowney's going to go number one overall. Who was right? Merrill Hodge. So
Damn.
he comes out this week and he's like, Caleb Williams, not special. Good quarterback, not special.
Oh, did he
I don't think
really?
he's that good. So if I were the
Wow.
Chicago Bears, man, I would be paying very close attention to what Merrill Hodge has to say.
Well, they're not going to
Because,
draft. I don't think they're going to draft him anyways, bro.
you sure about that?
Yeah. Caleb
I think they
Williams has
are.
said he does not want to go play for the
Uh,
Bears. They're not going to want that drama. At least I don't think they are.
I think they're gonna. Oh, they might. There's been rumors they might trade one spot down with the Redskin Commanders and do that. I could see them doing that, but I think they're gonna trade Justin Fields to take him, or whoever ends
Wow.
up taking him in the top three, top two. Uh,
I'm
I'd give
seeing
Merrill Hodge a call
May.
and say,
I'm
"What are you
seeing they
saying?"
may take May.
Really? See, I've been seeing Mays falling.
I'm seeing some mocks of them taking May.
I think it would be. Well, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. I don't know. I haven't watched them enough to say which one's better. All I know
Yeah,
is from what people say, Caleb Williams is like a, you know,
I don't know. I got a chance to watch Caleb Williams play. He looked he looked pretty legit to me.
a highlight package is unreal. I mean, he
Yeah,
struggled this year, but the kid can do everything.
yeah. He's got
But
it all.
Merrill Hodge has forgotten more about football than you and I and most of these people will ever know. So, and
Right.
he's been right a lot in big spots. So, I don't know. Just a hat tip
Did
out there. Whoever's drafting Caleb Williams, give Merrill Hodge a call and ask him why he thinks this way.
yeah. Hey, did you want to do my mock?
Yeah, oh yeah. You getting mock ready? Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So I on purpose try to be different from yours. So
Okay.
this isn't necessarily what I would do, but there is some things that I definitely would. So first round, Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle,
I like him.
Oklahoma.
I like him.
Here's a scattering report on him. Tyler Guyton only started 5 games in 2022, but he immediately jumps off the screen as a polished blocker at 14 total games played in 3 seasons, playing right tackle across 2023 first round pick Antoine Harrison. This is the main reason why I picked this kid.
Right tackle.
He plays right tackle. And then you can go ahead and put Jones back at left. Now you're cooking. Now you got 2 guys playing positions where they should be playing, and it could be dynamite. So that was why I went with him. Second round. Okay.
If I were drafting, if I were the Steelers and I was drafting, I'd take a right tackle. I'd look at this guy and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
Tony Pauline thought he was probably the best right tackle, the most upside in the draft for right tackle. So
yeah,
I think that would be a good pick.
I think it would be a fantastic pick. So second round, naturally I went with a center. Naturally I went with Zach Frazier. uh, I think that Jackson Powers Johnson, I think he might be gone. If the Steelers would choose not to take a center first round, he might be gone by the time it gets to them.
I think he's definitely gone.
I personally think your pick of him in the first round earlier last week is more spot on. I think that they may not risk it and take him first round.
I can see them taking him at 20. I really can.
Yeah, but for the sake of a new mock draft, we'll just for now it's Zach Frazier scouting report. At 6'10", 310 pounds, Zach Frazier is one of the strongest interior linemen in the country. He may not excel in space as an athletic player who is skilled at making landmark moves on the second level defenses, but he effectively handles players in front of him, whether in the run game or as a pass blocker. He checks all the boxes, man. Like there's just no way you could take this kid and not think it would be a huge upgrade over Mason Cole. There's just no way.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that.
Okay. Third round. I went ahead and took a corner. Josh Newton out of TCU. Look, I'll just read the scouting report. Arguably the best senior prospect in the Big 12 this fall. And at 5'11", 195 pounds, Newton has the physical tools and build to fit in perfectly against modern NFL receivers who are quicker than fast and aren't as dense. His lone weakness is not having top-notch speed, but the rest of his game is impressive. Sound familiar? Sounds almost like Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
It even goes into talking about how he'll swat the ball away, different stuff. I was like, oh, wow. Like it sounds just that Joey's a bigger corner. That's the only difference. This kid's a little smaller, but in the third round, if you get the best prospect in the Big 12 in the third round, and that's where this kid's fallen. This kid consistently is in the third round around where the Steelers pick. So I thought, you know what? You get another corner opposite of Joey on top of getting this offensive line taken care of. We're starting to cook a little bit. So, all right, next pick. This guy is constantly in the fourth round, right where the Steelers pick. And I think it actually might be important. It's defensive tackle, LSU, Mason Smith.
Okay.
His scouting report, despite not making it through his first game as a true sophomore, the LSU Tigers defensive tackle remains one of the most heralded NFL draft prospects in the 2024 cycle. His frame may be the most frightening since Sean Oakman, and his game resembles Stephon Tuitt and David Irving. His freakish athleticism paired with improved hands and a little experience to secure him a top 10 selection come April. But the guy continues and mocks to be fallen in the fourth round. So I don't know if it's injuries or what, but let's be honest, the Steelers need another defensive lineman. Cam's not getting any younger. In fact, he's coming off a major injury and hasn't been the same since. You just don't know. You don't know. So that's why I went with the first pick in the fourth. The next pick, I don't know. It just sounds like a solid pick for the fourth round. Jamari Thrash, wide receiver, Louisville. Thrash will be an older prospect, and he's not an elite size or speed threat, though he does have enough speed to threaten vertically. But the majority of Thrash's appeal will come from his route running ability. He's one of the best separators in the 2024 class. So mind you, this is a fourth round. You get one of the best separators in the class. That could be good. Aptly named, he thrashes defensive backs on a weekly basis with his combined route running, building blocks, and nuance as a separator. Thrash has high-level hip sync, throttle control, agility, and twitch, and angle freedom. And he weaponizes those tools with his football IQ, blind spot awareness, and intentional leans and head fakes.
Nice.
For a fourth-round pick, I like it.
Yeah.
So skip to the sixth round. This is that where I worry this is what the Steelers will do when it comes to getting a quarterback. They'll wait to the sixth round, and they'll draft Joe Milton. Joe Milton, this is the kid at the Senior Bowl, threw 2 interceptions, did not look good. However, here's the scouting report. Flashes controlled pocket movements versus pressure, big arm. The ball gets to the opposite hash instantaneously. So we did see this. He does have a rocket arm. Just looked like a turnover machine, though. So, like, be one of those picks where it's going to be a lot of work.
I flirted with that one in my mock. I like him. I like just
Yeah,
the physical tools are there. If you're gonna draft one
it
late, give me
is.
something that has,
That's
something
the
you
thing
can
about him.
hang your hat on, you know?
To me, his picks, well, the one was an arrogant pick. Like he thought my arm is so strong, I can throw cross body to the end
Yeah.
zone, and he got humbled. Like that, but it's that kind of confidence where you're like, okay, this kid really believes in himself that like he can make those kind of throws because of his arm strength. So you think to yourself, if you can, if you can get this kid to tone down the dumb throws, you never know, man. You could land something here that at least have a ceiling of being a good backup quarterback
Yep.
at
I
most.
wouldn't be mad at Joe Milton being the third string quarterback for the Steelers this season.
No. All right, last pick. I didn't forget this, so people are probably thinking, Nathaniel Watson, linebacker, Mississippi State. Let me read this. This is what made me like him. So he's an above average athlete who is a smooth mover in space, but lacks quick twitch and explosive movements. Watson is a good player in zone coverage. He's displaying a very good ability to get depth in his drops and shows good awareness of backs and receivers entering this area. So for a 7th-round pick, if I can get a guy that does good in zone coverages, which the Steelers like to do a lot of, for 7th-round pick,
Yep.
pretty good. So that's my draft for now. My first mock on here. So I personally, I like if I had to grade this as just a person outside looking in, I really like Guyton, Frazier, the Mason Smith pick, and the Thrash pick, even the Watson pick I like for a 7th-rounder. But it's not primarily what I'd want to see happen. I would more or less like to see them land, Spencer Rattler in the 3rd, maybe, or get lucky and he falls to the 4th and they snag him.
Yeah.
But what he's trending up though, dude. My
Yeah.
one note that I have from mocks I'm seeing, there's now 5 quarterbacks going in the 1st round.
JJ.
Yep, JJ
Penix.
McCarthy and Bo Nix have now moved up into the 1st round.
Yeah, and Penix is still like second round,
Penix
right?
is floating 2nd round.
Yeah.
And then like I said, then it goes to Spencer Rattler. Rattler started off the year of mocks really in the bottom 4th round, and now he's now top of the 3rd round usually. So he's starting to keep trending up. I could almost see him surpassing Penix because Penix didn't look good in Senior Bowl colleges or colleges practices. He also didn't look good in that last championship game. He then decided not to play at all at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's him like, oh man, I'm not doing good. I don't want to play and look bad. Like that's that's what it was. I'm interested to see what he does at the combine. I'm interested to see if Michael Penix actually shows up for the combine and if he'll actually participate in it, because I don't know if he will.
It's possible that he won't. I mean, he could just work out.
Or he'll do the
day.
40. He'll do the 40 stuff like that, but nothing involving his arm.
He should go out there and show off his arm. He's supposed to get the best deep ball in the class. He should be out there.
He absolutely should. But it sounds like they're scared he's going to look bad. He hasn't played good in a while, dude.
The thing with him too is the injuries. He's been injured a lot.
Yep.
I think both knees and a shoulder and this and that. He's had both knees worked on. He's been beat up. So if I were the Steelers, I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't touch him.
I wouldn't either, unless
Too many
he falls.
Injuries.
If there's something where he falls to like the 4th round,
then
the 4th
that's a different story. Yeah,
4th round's worth it to me. If he falls to the 4th, then I take a shot. But
I agree.
Yeah. So all right, that's my first mock.
Nice. I like it, Dave. I like Joe Milton. I do.
I like the arm.
I like you get a right tackle and then Zach Frazier in the 2nd round. That's perfectly fine with me. I'd be very happy with that. I asked Dave, we'll wrap up the show. I asked Dave to take 5 free agents out of this upcoming class, 5 that he really likes, and take them for the Steelers. 4 reasonable ones and 1 home run pick. We'll obviously get deeper into the free agent class as we go along, but I figured just to start out, 5 guys you really would like to see the Steelers sign. So we'll go one at a time. You do one, I'll do one. So you can go first. Who's somebody that you'd really like to see the Steelers pick?
So I kind of went with I tried to mix in reality with So I really like Gardner Minshew. I really do. He's always a solid backup quarterback. And every time the guy gets it, and the starter gets injured, he comes in. They win a couple games, whether it was with
Yeah.
Jacksonville or this past year with the Colts. Look what he did to us in the game. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the guy comes in as a backup and wins some games for that
Yep.
team. So when you have Kenny Pickett, who's like brittle and gets hurt every time he thinks about running, you got a guy that can fill in for a couple games and actually you can win with. So, a lot different from whenever, we saw what Trubisky did versus Minshew in that Colts game. So to me, if I wanted to add a guy that not going to break the bank, but isn't like, the worst either, Gardner Minshew, I don't know how you could go wrong. His market value also, by the way, is only 5.3 million.
Really? I was going to say, I would have thought it would have been more than that.
No, it's only 5.3 million. That's it.
Nice. I mean, Dave, that's a great pick. I mean, if they're going to go with a mid backup quarterback, he's top of the food chain in that category. He's like a borderline starting quarterback.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and you bring up Kenny Pickett getting injured a lot. Yeah, you need somebody good as his backup. I like it. My first guy, I brought it up before. I'll get it out of the way. It's Kyle Duggar from the Patriots, a true strong safety. I've been over this a million times. I'm not going to bore you guys with it. I want to move Minkah back to free safety. I want a good strong safety. He's probably the best strong safety in this class. He's a big guy. He ran 4.4 40, and so he's got some athleticism.
It's so strange that you brought up that because I'm looking at strong safeties right now as we speak.
Yeah, and he's a guy I would like to see the Steelers take.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now as we speak. His market value though is $16.5 million.
Well, when I said our favorites, pie in the sky.
Yeah,
spending $16 million on a safety.
But no, that to me that'd be a dream to have him and Minkah. Whoo,
that seems a little rich for a safety, but we'll see what he gets.
Yeah. Next I went with was you know what? I'm not even a Pitt fan, but you know what? I like the pick of or thought of Tyler Boyd coming to Pittsburgh. As the number 3, dude, I think him, Deontay, and George Pickens would do some damage.
That would be something.
And I like his market value. It's only 8.7 million. I thought it'd be a little higher for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I wonder these market values that Sport Track comes out with, how accurate they are. They seem all over the place.
I don't know. Look,
if they can get it for $9 million, I'd be doing cartwheels.
Look, I don't have a fucking clue what their market value is. So if they want to offer one, I'll take it.
Something good to base. Yeah, to base.
Yeah, just to base it off. You can believe it's not real. What I mean, look, I'll put you this way: if it's 8.7, that gives me hope he'd take a hometown discount and come over maybe for 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't know. Or maybe he wants to get another big payday, before he starts to, his play starts to go downhill. So you never know. But for 8.7, if they could get him for like 7 million, bring him on. I would love to have him as a third wide receiver.
I agree. My next guy is Kendall Fuller, corner from the Commanders.
Oh my,
this is my semi-reasonable, not home run corner. If you're not going to get to the big guys, Kendall Fuller's he's almost 30, so that's a concern. But I think I should have looked this up before we got on. His PFF grade was pretty high in the 80s, I believe.
He's a good corner. Kendall Fuller's a good corner. Yeah,
he's a very good corner. I mean, not many people bring him up. You pair him with JPJ, now you're cooking in the secondary. I think adding a free agent veteran corner is expensive, but it would really help this defense tremendously. So Kendall Fuller is a guy I would love to see the Steelers sign. Yeah. Who's your next guy?
Next guy for me is going to be Noah Brown, wide receiver, Houston Texans. So I wanted to look up a couple different wide receivers. So this Noah Brown, his market value is only 5.6 million.
Yeah, that seems about right.
This guy would go off and on for the Texans. Now, mind you, Stroud probably had something to do with that, but at the same time, the guy shows the potential to go off every other game or every other couple games. To me, he's be a solid number 3. Could actually do a lot of damage because guys got to focus so much on Deontay and George Pickens. I mean, you think about the wide receivers in Houston, Nico Collins, right? That's their main guy. And then after that, it's like everybody's kind of mid, not a George Pickens or not a Deontay Johnson. So if you take this guy, plug him in at the number 3 wide receiver spot, Man, I think that could really cook.
Yep, I like it. I like it a lot. My third guy is Connor Williams, center from the Miami Dolphins. He's the
Okay.
best center, and he's the best center in free agency. 86.5 PFF grade. Um, Maybe you sign a center. Centers don't make
Right.
big money. You use your first round pick on a corner or right tackle or something like that. Maybe I have trouble believing the Steelers are going to have two rookies, like a center and a tackle, starting for them
Right.
in 2024. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be a center and Dan Moore again, or they'll sign a veteran center and draft a tackle. So if you're gonna go center, please plug that black hole with somebody good once and for all. Get a good center in here. Pay this man, and let's move on. It's been 5 years of bleak center play for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Fix it. Move on. Connor Williams is my pick.
Yep. Yeah, no, I like it. It's funny because mine's going to be a offensive lineman too. I went with Jonah Williams, right tackle. First round pick by Cincinnati Bengals. A guy you could bring in for his market value is 10.8 mil. But I think he had a down year. I don't think he had as good of a year. So you could actually, I think, get him for cheaper than that. But if you can get him to bounce back, maybe he wasn't healthy. I don't know why he had a down year, but either way, I think that market value goes down a little bit. You could get this guy, plug him in at right, move Broderick Jones to left, and also then you don't got to go get a guy in the draft to play tackle. Mm-hmm. So that to me sounds pretty good. So I would you bring him in at 8 mil?
Yeah. It's worth a shot. I mean, his former first round pick. He struggled off and on with the Bengals, but yeah, definitely take a shot with him. He's better than look. The bar is Dan Moore. You can only go up from there.
Right.
And the bar is Dan Moore and Broderick Jones out of position.
Right.
Let's not forget that. So anybody you bring in, makes the offensive line better.
And imagine it's an actual right tackle. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of offensive linemen, my next guy is Trent Brown from the Patriots. Nice. Dude, this guy's 6'8", 370. That's his listed size. Freaking monster.
That is huge.
He had a good season with the Patriots. He was 80.2 from PFF. Big dude. I think Arthur Smith wants more athletic offensive lineman that can, I don't know, run that zone scheme he likes, but you could do a lot worse than Trent Brown. Just plug him in, tackle, let him maul people, call it a day.
Yep. All right, my last one is going to be Devin White.
There you go. Yep.
The Steelers have got to go get one or draft one. I'm not sure which they'll do. White's been injured a lot lately, so his price has dropped. It's down to 10.7 mil is market value, which is good for the Steelers. I really like Devin White. He was the right Devin of the two in this draft. He's only 25 years old. He's still young, dude. He's still young. Yeah. If he gets healthy and you bring him in, can you imagine him and Holcomb, Annie, Landon, Roberts? That's a trio right there.
I like
it. I like it. That fixes a lot of things. So yeah, I would love it. I mean, I looked at some other ones, but I know that they're not going to go after the $18 million Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
Does that sound great? Sure, but 18. I know that 18 million. It's a non-starter. There's no way.
They're not investing that kind of money in linebacker.
But 10.7, you're close. You're a little closer. To maybe being able to get a guy like that. So, all right, that's my 5.
My last one is a home run one. Pie in the sky. Something happens. They get a little extra money they find under the cushions. L'Jarius Sneed, the Chiefs. That guy is a good cornerback. I looked up his stats, dude. He ran a 4.3 40 at the combine.
Quick.
And it shows he's a good corner. Would be dream scenario. Only like 76 as a PFF grade. I was going between him and Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson had a 90 PFF grade as a corner, but he didn't test
90.
as well as,
90.
Yep.
Holy shit.
And the Steelers almost had him at the trade deadline. Remember that? They were
Yeah.
close, and then something fell through. But
I
his
want to
he didn't
get.
run as fast. He was like 4.5 40. So I don't know.
I'm trying to
When it
see if
comes
they
to,
have Snead's market value.
it's probably up there.
There, I
It's
found
got
it.
to be.
It's Legarius, right?
Yep.
Yep, Casey. 16.3
Yeah.
million.
I'm surprised it's not
Mm.
more than that, actually, Dave. I think he's the
Give
top
it
corner.
time.
Well, Johnson's the top corner in the market. He's like second. So I don't know. Either one. Give me either one.
Yeah.
And of
No,
course,
that'd be nice.
I'd love Kirk Cousins somewhere in the low, but not for 45 million, bro. We forget about
Yeah,
that
there's just
shit.
no way. I mean,
Forget about that.
I was looking like as you know, I was looking at the quarterbacks because I picked one. Another name I wanted to float to you that I thought was kind of interesting was for quarterbacks. Nothing that's crazy, but Jake Browning is a free agent. Did you know that?
Oh, is he? No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I I was
For
kind
a
of
backup? Yeah.
tempted to make him be the pick because what he did in Cincinnati. Now, mind you, I don't know if it's just his surroundings is what helped him,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yet he faced the Steelers. He didn't do as well, so it's kind of those weird things. But man, I mean, my dude was putting up 300, 400 yards,
Yeah.
three
He played
touchdowns.
well.
I mean,
He
looking
played well.
really good. And now he's a free agent. Like, I don't know, just
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
another guy that maybe they go after for a backup role. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what. Not to get on a tangent here about the Steeler quarterback situation, but like it's really intriguing to me that they cut Trubisky a day after the Super Bowl to where now literally the only quarterback in that room is Kenny. Like it's very intriguing to me that
Yeah.
they didn't wait. They didn't wait at all.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see like what route they go. Remember I told you my dream is a free agent and a draft pick. Like they bring them both in and they're actually decent guys to actually compete with Kenny for the starting position.
Seems like that's what's going to happen. I mean, you're not going to sign
I
two veteran backups. You're going to have to draft one now.
I and it's really playing out honestly, Dave, the way I wanted to see it. I mean, you remember the talk we had. Like I was
Yep.
literally hoping this was how it would look. And right now it's the way it looks. I'm just curious how serious they get about it. That's when we'll know.
Yeah. I
That's
wish.
when
I can't wait for this offseason to play out to see. I mean, we're going to learn pretty fast what they think of Kenny Pickett because if they bring in a Justin Fields or somebody like that, then they don't have any faith in him at all. If they just bring in a Tannehill or bring back Mason or somebody like that or a Browning even, then we're going to have at least a few games of Kenny Pickett. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And now we're going to have to take a longer look at these third, fourth, fifth round quarterbacks because they're going to draft one. It seems pretty obvious that they need a cheap third quarterback. This team's got cap issues.
Let me give you a scenario. Good. It's the third round. We got our center. We got our tackle. Bo Nix has fallen to the third round. Yeah. Penix has fallen to the third round. And Spencer Rattler is still there in the third round. Are you taking one of the three or none at all?
If Bo Nix falls to the third round, you got to take him because he's getting first round buzz.
So Bo Nix is a guy that third round you're taking.
Absolutely. I would take Spencer Rattler in the third round too. I'm staying away from Penix. Like you said, if he falls fourth or beyond, then maybe you could take a shot at him.
So your cutoff is definitely the fourth.
I think so, yeah. Okay. Third round.
Is there any quarterback that is not, the obvious ones like Williams, May, Daniels? Is there anyone if they fell to the, we'll say second round, that you would consider?
I'm intrigued by JJ McCarthy, even though everything I've seen of him, I know he's never wowed me in a game. I haven't watched him too closely, but so there are some people who really, really like him.
That's the name I was waiting to see if you would name him.
Yeah.
If he would drop to the second round. Because I mean, they're saying there's going to be one of these five is going to drop. I don't buy that five quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. I mean, it is supposed to be a better draft class. So I think what people got to remember too is like, just because the Senior Bowl wasn't that great, scouts are not going off of one game. They're going off of what they've been watching for 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're going off of. And so even though we saw Milton, have a bad game, and well, a lot of those guys didn't look good. I mean, the only one that looked good was Rattler, and Nix looked okay. He had a
Yeah.
couple okay passes. But people won't be going off just that game. They'll be going off what they've seen for the last 4 years, or 3 years in some people's cases. So I'll be very interested to see if any of these guys fall, and if they fall, will the Steelers pounce? That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw Daniel Jeremiah's tweet. He's saying a lot of NFL teams are looking to trade up because 2025 draft class for quarterbacks isn't very good.
Right.
And they want to get their quarterback this year.
Right. And
so
remember, we talked about this. This is why we were like, they should go. They're better off going 7-10 because they could go get one of these guys because the 2025 class is horrible. So
can I tell you the future? Kenny's going to struggle. Kenny's going to struggle this season, and the Steelers are going to be in the market for a quarterback next year, and they're going to draft another quarterback in a shitty quarterback draft, and it's going to be like deja vu all over again. We're going to be doing the same fucking thing we're doing now. They're going to force one, whoever the next Kenny Pickett is in 2025, that falls to them at 20 in a shitty draft class. God help us all. God help us all. Go get somebody. Go get somebody legit. Stop screwing around. It doesn't matter, Dave. It doesn't matter who the coordinator is. It doesn't matter who the coach is. If you don't have a quarter, who's beating Patrick Mahomes, dude?
Yeah.
Who's beating Patrick Mahomes? Kenny Pickett? No.
No.
Mason Rudolph? No. Tannehill? No way. I mean, yeah, the defense has played well, and we should talk about the Super Bowl a bit. The defense has played well, but you need a playmaker when it counts, bro. And these guys ain't it.
I told you I was taking the Chiefs. I told you. I said, I want Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, the whole damn bunch. I'm picking them. It's happening. And I told you. I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. I'm just not betting against him. Like, that guy.
I totally agree with you. You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. He's this Tom Brady now. He's a guy you are shocked if he loses.
Yep.
But you better expect him to win because he probably is going to win. He's going to find a way to win. My man, Kyle Shanahan, did not have his best day. I didn't like the way he coached this game at all.
You have the best running back
in
the game. You have a lead. Use them. Like, you got to run that clock. You don't want to give the one team you don't give time to is the Chiefs.
It's my
like it didn't make any sense. None.
A couple of the most important third down plays, bro. The Chiefs defensive coordinator blitzes on these plays. He's a guy that blitzes.
Right.
Call a screen or a draw. Don't freaking have Brock Purdy drop back on the most important plays. What are you doing?
At least have a check down. At least have a check down ready to CMC. I mean, something. Man, they looked like they had no idea was coming. They acted like they had no idea. Brock Purdy looked shocked when they were blitzing. It was like, what are you doing? And did you hear that their players didn't know the overtime rules or whatever? Did you hear that too?
That's another one.
I was like, what? Like, I don't know. Just shocked by Kyle Shanahan. Like, it just, I don't know, man. Just sloppy. Just, I don't know. Yeah. It was just weird. You saw in this game how the momentum was just a slow creeping death, basically, back to the Chiefs.
Yep.
It was incredible. 49ers missed the extra points. This wouldn't even have been a conversation because the Chiefs would have had to go for touchdown. And the clock was down. I mean, they were, if they'd had to go for touchdown, 49ers probably the Super Bowl champions.
Yep. And I listen to Mike Lombardi's podcast, and he always says, if you force Shanahan into a drop back game, you get him behind, he's not good. His offense, that's not his offense. His offense is play from a lead, play action, all those funky run plays. That's where he excels. If you make them drop back third and long, he's dead. And it showed. He didn't have any answers for the Chiefs on third downs. And then, dude, I don't know how you feel about it, but taking the ball first was an epic blunder by Shanahan in overtime. Because, and here's what the worst part of it. You score on the first drive, which you obviously are. Then you make the Chiefs a 4-down team. They have to go for it. So you're giving them fourth down
Right.
on every play because they have to. They're behind.
Right.
Where if they
Right.
get the ball first, they get fourth down, they're going to punt.
Yeah.
But now when you're
No,
behind
you're right.
in an overtime game,
Right. And you
I
can't
mean,
you don't give the Chiefs fourth downs.
no,
Like
you just made them
their
1,000% more dangerous.
Yeah, their chances
Such a
of
bad mistake on his part. And I get it. He said somebody floated that the defense was gassed. He wanted to give his defense a little rest. No, bro, no. Don't give Patrick Mahomes 4 downs on every, in every series to get, he's gonna kill you. How many times have we seen Tom Brady, just eviscerate people, go down the field in a big spot? Now you're gonna give Patrick Mahomes 4 downs to do it? Oh man.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I've seen Patrick Mahomes do it with 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
Let alone
the Bills.
Bro.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. I know. I don't know what was wrong. He just didn't have it as a coach.
No.
Sunday night, he didn't have it.
That's this is the third time for him. It was the last time they played the Chiefs, they lost, and he was the OC for the Falcons in that fucking meltdown against the Patriots. 28-3. He was the OC for that game. And he didn't call run plays in that game either. And let the Patriots back in the game. I love Kyle Shanahan and some of the stuff he does, but he lost some points with me, man. I'm telling you. That was not
tough.
Good.
Yeah, that was rough.
Chiefs 3 Super Bowls now. Knocking on the door.
What is it? 3 rings, 4 appearances, right?
And that's 4 total for them, right? Because they won one before Patrick Mahomes got there. So they're up to 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, they're at 4 now. Yeah. And I mean, and what was it, 5 straight AFC championships?
Yeah. They're putting up some wild stuff out there in Kansas City.
Bro, just
wonder
ridiculous.
How much they have left. I mean, Andy Reid's older. Kelsey's 34 now. They don't have any wide receivers.
Yeah, but
they have Patrick Mahomes.
In theory, if they don't lose a lot of people, they'll just keep drafting players, and they're going to hit on a wide receiver sooner or later. That Rice kid's good. He's Rice kid is good.
Yeah.
But if they hit on an elite wide receiver, look out.
Yeah. Are they going to lose Snead as a free agent, and then Chris Jones as a free agent too? They might lose him.
Yeah, that's true. So they might lose some key players, but if they can plug other ones,
Patrick Mahomes, man. So that's
right.
all they
in the
really
end,
need.
You're right.
Just give them something to throw to, and meanwhile, we're debating whether Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph should be starting.
Yep. Yay, fun.
All right, dude. That's all I got. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, bro. That's all I got.
All right. You can follow me on X at SteelersSank16. Email the show at daver@SteelersSanctuary.com. Subscribe to the pod or subscribe to us on YouTube, guys. Really appreciate you guys bumping up our YouTube numbers a little bit. We've been really successful. Dave, give me your stuff and let's get out of here.
Yep, you can find me on X at DMC3SSP. Find me on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at SteelSancPod. Don't forget, guys, I have the sports books. It's at signupexpert.com/nothingness. I'll be starting up my Pirates podcast very soon as the season is about to start approaching.
Yeah, check out Dave's Hodgepodge of Nothingness. It's a good podcast for baseball fans. All right, until next time, thanks for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.